What's up, folks? It's been a while, but you know what? College life mentality, people scheduling aside, I'm back, and I couldn't think of a better time to spark a conversation on all things All Elite Wrestling than the go home week to AEW's Supercard and biggest pay-per-view of the year, AEW All Out. Good evening, everybody. Hello and salutations to you all. My name is Noah Foster, and I'm just a simple man. And welcome once again to another edition of AEW Spark. As always with this series, I give you my takeaways, my thoughts on upcoming shows, and just overall type of opinions on what I've seen from the AEW product. Dynamite, Dark, specials, countdowns, BTE, promos, character development, matches aside, let's go ahead and dive right into it. As always, I like to start AEW Spark by shedding some light on Dark, as it seems that more action that happens in AEW Dark kind of coincides with sometimes what you could see happen on Dynamite, or continuation of such things on Dynamite. Biggest example I would definitely put is the foursome of Lucha Brothers and Butcher and the Blade. While they seemed absolutely dominant and on the same page at first, it seems that envy has slowly crept into this dangerous quadrant of competitors until one Eddie Kingston brought Real Talk, talked about how powerful and dominant all four of these individual men are, how great they are individually, but how much more better they could be together. And simply, he is just here being a voice of perspective. But you all saw that slow wink, right? There's a plan. And we'll talk more about that when we go into Dynamite this week. Of course, this was all brought on after the Lucha Brothers left Butcher and Blade high and dry during a four-way match on Dark that they lost. Another thing that's been happening on Dark that I've constantly looked at, of course, is the initiative. The goal to the win, the pursuit of it. Leva doing everything she can with Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler to get these two on the same page, maybe thinking the same mentality, having that great in-ring psychology and ingenuity with one another to get the win. At this point, though, you've seen BTA. At this point now, they're each just going to do it their own way because Peter Avalon wants to do anything it takes to win. Truth be told, they tried to use another book, and it bit them in the butt, literally, as they lost again to the Hybrid 2 this past week on Dark. Nyla Rose once again made a statement with Vicky Guerrero, taking on a very game Kylan King. I kind of like how Nyla Rose is kind of like letting her opposition try and put some good offense against her, but in the end, she did get the win. And again, now we know what this duo is called, the Vicious Vixens, I believe. So people look out for that. And someone else I might add, I thought Penelope Ford and Heather Monroe had a pretty good match. I feel like these two share similar personalities and also similar ring styles. I feel like they actually could make a great tag team one day if we do get tag team titles in AEW. And considering what I saw on Wednesday, maybe that will be a thing eventually. But in the end, Penelope Ford, she continues to prevail on Dark while her boy Keith Sabian falls short. And I think about Kazarian possibly having a great run as a singles competitor after his great singles bout with Jon Moxley. And we honestly don't know what ground SCU stands on, but we might learn more about that this coming Wednesday. Mel seems to be making strides on Dark as well, constantly pulling off wins and wins in a row. More independent talent are getting more opportunities to show what they can do in the ring with the best that AEW has to offer. Jake Hager squashed Marco Stunt. I don't think nobody was surprised by that. The glove, once again, comes into play with the Shawn Spears match. Not necessarily a punch, but just a palm strike after he defeated, who always says he's never broken, Jesse Sorensen. Santana and Ortiz, they swept the floor with the Metro Bros. Ricky Starks continues to impress, being officially part of Team Taz. Not to mention, one independent star that's starting to make strides, it seems, is one Serpentico tagging with Lufer, as once again, this duo, second time now as a tag team, they picked up a tag team win against the Initiative. Again, the Initiative, they just can't get on the same page. Leva, keep trying. I truly believe y'all can do it. It's just a matter of time before you all figure it out, I feel like. And the Hybrid 2, they're finally building some momentum, as this time they beat Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela in a very competitive closing bout. So that being said, that was Dark. Let's go ahead and talk about AEW Dynamite. As the focus this week, of course, was figuring out our tag team competitors, making the Women's Championship match official, ending Matt Hardy and Sammy G, and so much more. So, the opening, of course, was our tag team gauntlet. And I like how the rankings really came into play here when it seems they really are following the rankings. Your wins and losses do matter, and they could definitely help you in multi-tier type matches, as the tag team gauntlet was done by rank, starting with the lower ranked teams and moving our way up to number 1, FTR. The opening bout, of course, featured the Young Bucks taking on the Natural Nightmares, ranked 3 and 4 respectively. And pretty good opening bout. Oh, might I add, how can I be so rude? This Dynamite was extra special and really raises, I feel like, the morale of all wrestling fans, whether you're watching from home, watching somewhere else, or were there, as this was the first AEW Dynamite with live fans in attendance. 10% capacity, completely was sold out those tickets in social distancing type of isolated hub areas and booths all over Daly's place, which might I add as an outdoor venue. So they're not really like, hurting anybody or trying to push anything indoors. And honestly, it brought a renewed energy, I feel like, to not only the wrestlers, but the atmosphere itself. And they wore masks all the time, got temperature checks and everything. It really kicked off when Le Champion, Chris Jericho, he joined us that entire night on commentary, and the very first thing you hear is the fans singing Judas. Glad to know they didn't forget the lyrics. Now only Sammy Guevara can learn them. And even Jericho says, this just sparks a whole new interest in Dynamite and for the wrestlers. And Jericho, again, once again on commentary, freaking hilarious. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the tag team match. And now that I told you a little bit about the aesthetics, of course, commentary was led by Tony Schiavone, good old JR, my all-time favorite, Jim Ross, and Chris Jericho this week. Apparently, Excalibur has been seen at AEW, but they haven't brought him into commentary yet. I have no idea when that might happen. And I really do like the trio of Veda Scott, Taz, and Tony Schiavone for Dark. I really do hope they continue that going forward. I feel like Miss Scott can offer a lot to AEW Dynamite from a commentary perspective, and I really enjoyed her insight and what she's brought. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the wrestling here, because again, AEW, it's all elite wrestling. And they have the strongest tag team division in all professional wrestling today with the most depth and original characters, and no two teams feel the same. This gauntlet features the top 4 teams in the rankings, as first off, we have the Natural Nightmares, the number 4, facing the Young Bucks, number 3. Pretty good match, and Allie was there. Hey, Allie. Pretty good match, I might add. QT Marshall, he tried to garner some momentum back after Dustin got his clock cleaned. But in the end, the Bucks, they pinned QT Marshall with the BTE trigger, and they moved on. When I first thought about this match, I thought it was going to come down to Young Bucks vs FTR, as that seemed to have been the storyline really teased throughout the last few weeks, especially when you consider what happened with the Rock and Roll Express and Tully Blanchard, who might add now is officially the manager of FTR. But you figure about what you saw last week with Hangman Adam Page and FTR, is something coming. Just saying. And I feel like a lot more was told through what happened during this gauntlet towards my expectations of that, as the Young Bucks took on the next contenders, number 2, one of my all-time favorite teams ever, the Best Friends, in Trent and Chucky, in a very competitive bout. Again, there was no rest. Things really picked up in the Young Bucks' favor when they pulled off all the air maneuvers, including a moonsault off the apron, but Trent had it scouted. Trent caught him with a spear on the outside of nowhere. That is an effective spear. Chucky got a near fall after a double arm suplex spot, and then literally Trent tagged in, hot tag. At one point, they tried to go for strong zero, but one of the Bucks, they prevented that from happening. Jericho, he speaks as a fan, not really as a commentator, in my opinion. At one point, Lily's saying, that's like getting suplexed on concrete. And then Lily trying to come up with a word for like will or health, something like that. Again, commentary I just find entertaining, but more so I watch AEW be my own commentator and enjoying the wrestling. It's as simple as that. Anyway, as this bout continued, it looked like things were finally going the Young Bucks' favor after they were able to escape a soul food half and half combo, and then we got a 450 splash from the Bucks as a follow-up for a near fall. And then they were going to set up for the finish. Impressive, though, they kicked out of the 450 splash, as the Bucks were going to set up for the Meltzer driver out of nowhere. By the way, I like the whole over the ring, literally overhead over ring type camera perspective that they're using here. Every now and then, not overkilling it, not overkilling shots either, cutting this shot, this shot, this shot, this shot. But who prevents the Bucks from moving on? And then you really wonder, why did he feel Zarg? Was this maybe planned? Hangman Adam Page. He literally grabs the leg of Nick, and Matt gets caught in a counter roll-up by Trent, and the Bucks were eliminated. Well, boy, was that a physical bout between the Best Friends and the Bucks. But Page looking maybe guilty or drunk or sober or questioning what he just did. I don't even know what to call what just happened. I was flabbergasted. I was shocked. As of course, on the heel side, we saw the likes of the librarians, Peter Avalon, Leva Bates, Diamante Ivelisse, interesting. Ty Conti, now will come into play later, and someone else, but I can't remember who. And I'm just like, what? Wow, why? And we'll talk more about that later, as that was picked up again later in the show. But the action must continue to move forward, as the Bucks are wondering what the f. As Paige literally walks up the VOMs and exits it, rather maybe guilty, it seemed. Anyway, moving on from there, we go into the number one now versus the number two. As the best friends, no rest for the weary, they must continue and try and push through. FTR with Tully Blanchard. But it was clear that their bout with the Young Bucks, it definitely hit them hard. And right before the bell, FTR, they got the jump on the best friends. And then literally dissecting Chuck Taylor's leg, which was treated earlier by the Young Bucks. It was followed up in a trio woe spot and the double team. By the way, FTR staying true to what they believe in, the 10 count and the tag ropes. It was during their match. So there you go. Looks like it's just during matches that they are actually in. Just keep that in mind. Chucky was trying to nurse the knee, and Trent, he tries to basically come into play here and tries to be Mr. Difference Maker. As Jericho played out, that strategy going after the injured knee. It was a leg lock, though, on Chuck. He had no choice but to submit and tap out, as Dax literally had him trapped, and he just couldn't make it to the ropes. So that being said, there you go. It is official, as this gauntlet determined our challengers to the Tag Team Championships. It will be FTR with Tully Blanchard, Dax Harwood, and, Dax Harwood, and I'm trying to get the other one's name. I am horrible with these names. Dax Harwood and what is his name? Someone help me out here. I'm blanking. Anyway, you get the idea. FTR, they Scott Wheeler or something like that. They are moving on. They are officially facing Kenny Omega and Heyman and Page. We ought to wonder where Page's mind's at AEW All Out for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. As we move on from there, Jericho, before we move on, he says, who's going to stop FTR with Tully Blanchard in the corner? I'm really impressed with FTR. I really am. And again, I think good old JR is really impressed with them too. They're traditional tag team wrestlers. No flips, just fists. Simple as that. Moving on from there, we get a sub promo from Darby Allin, who again is reckless, fearless, relentless, as he jumps off a freaking bridge, railroad bridge, I might add, down into a river, basically proclaiming one thing. He's not afraid of Ricky Starks. For Ricky Starks to claim on Darby Allin, he has every right to be afraid of me. That one-on-one's got to be coming sooner or later, folks. But speaking of something that's coming, we have Everybody Dies, as Lance Archer took on Shawn Michaels in his AEW debut. You might know him, cousin of Roman Reigns, former NXT superstar. And Shawn Michaels, to his credit, Archer, he tried. Who the heck did Archer bring out to the ring and destroy? Good grief. Ridiculous chop, though, to Michaels' chest, nearly caving in. Michaels tries to fight back a little bit, but again, you try and fight Archer, he's just going to hurt you even worse. By the way, Archer destroyed 2 people on Dark, so I guess he didn't get enough this week. Anyway, as Archer literally just dominates, period, Michaels, there was a freaking sky-high type chokeslam, as JR put it. And then blackout. You think that's it? Nope. EBD claw, not once, but twice, 3 times. And he finally ends Michaels suffering with 1, 2, 3. As Jim says, that's a restaurant quality ass whooping. I love good old JR, man. Anyway, after that, Jake the Snake Roberts, he basically discloses that Lance Archer, he is somebody that's just picked the bone, but he's still hungry and wants more meat. So, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Lance Archer is officially your first announced participant in, yep, it's coming back, and this time it's the men, a casino battle royal to determine who will challenge for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at a later date past the pay-per-view. 21 men will enter, or in this case, as Jake put it, basically 20 other men will be in this match. And Archer cannot wait to wreak havoc. As Archer just subtly says, everybody dies. But it looks like he might have some other big-time opposition with a similar goal as they got music now. Team Taz comes out. Ricky Starks and the FTW champion. Yes, that's still his thing. Brian Cage, the Machine. They come out basically, and they try to have Taz and Jake try to have a war of words with each other. Basically, Taz claiming a member of Team Taz. They will be a winner at All Out. So there's 3 participants for you: Lance Archer, Brian Cage, and absolute Ricky Starks. Hopefully, he has a better pair of shoes because as we are getting an idea of maybe Lance Archer versus Brian Cage, I would love to see that personally for the FTW Championship, just cause. Make that a dark thing, just cause. Who comes out of nowhere, riding in from the outside on a skateboard? Oops, I spoiled it. Darby Allin, who literally comes in and drop kicks Ricky Starks out of his shoes. That is freaking hilarious. And they brought it to the back. And that's it for that, as we have Lance Archer and Brian Cage in a tense face-off with their managers respectively trying to hold them off, as Brian Cage lifts the FTW Championship, teasing. That has to be a 1-1 match for that title coming up. It would be interesting to me. But what's also extremely interesting to me is women's wrestling, and this could be the best women's wrestling match in AEW history, as we now have the NWA Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa, challenging, and they made it official, thanks to legal counsel Amoeba, in a nice, simple promo, straight to the point contract signing segment and face-off, with the current AEW Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida. They made the contract official, and I like the subtle idea that Billy Corgan's like, he looks forward to exploring this opportunity with their companies to work together. He believes that all champions should be fine champions, as Thunder Rosa proclaims that she's going to get this, but before she could grab it after signing the contract, Hikaru Shida in Japanese, thank you, subtitle, Sully says, "No, I will win." So, is Thunder Rosa going to make history? These are 2 of the best women's professional wrestlers in the world. Hikaru Shida, incredible wrestling background, Joshi Pro Wrestling, took on the likes of Mari Fuju, and we got Thunder Rosa, mixed martial arts background, one of the best women's professional wrestling matches this year with Allison Kay at NWA High Times. We've been clamoring for it, asking for it, waiting for someone to bring the AEW women's division to the map, to that next level, with a couple of their greatest stars like out due to injury and quarantine. And this is it. So it's official. Hikaru Shida will defend the AEW Women's Championship against Thunder Rosa, the NWA Women's Champion. I can only imagine what this would mean if Thunder Rosa pulls the upset here. And I would not rule that out because AEW loves to keep you guessing. And honestly, based on who's been involved in AEW and who's been signed now to AEW, I can see this partnership truly forming. And we still don't know the full future of the NWA. Just saying. Imagine the wild cards during the tag team division, too. Anyway, as we move on from there, we get our big contract signing broadcast on the show as MJF and his entire cabinet with a new Burberry Walker, jeez, they come out to the ring with attorney, I might add, Max Sterling, to sign the contract with Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at All Out, where the stipulation is the paradigm shift will be banned. And this was a subtle contract signing. There was a little bit of a jaw-jacking, as MJF called him a one-trick pony. Basically, it says MJF, he's subtle in a way he respects wrestlers, but still puts himself over as better than everybody, as his theme just suggests. I'm better than you, and you know it. And then he tried to drop the wife card, basically, saying, hey, I'll be wearing pretty platinum around my waist, walking out with the championship. Basically, though, if your wife once a real man gets lonely, yeah, she knows where I am. And that caused Jon Moxley to stand up, as he entered, by the way, from the crowd to a standing ovation of mass fans, of course. Happy to see him. They could use more, like, shots in the fans, but I'm glad they did use what they did use, okay? Also, might I add, Tony Schiavone also announced that Jon Moxley is PWI's 500 #1 Wrestler of the Year. Congratulations to him. With all his work he's done for AEW, with the work that he put in for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and just everything that he's doing now as a professional wrestler. He truly deserves it. If y'all want to talk more about the PWI 500, maybe I'll do another video, but it was solely put that Chris Jericho, while chopping on, he was number 3. Y'all want to know who number 2 was? Adam Cole, baby. Let that sink in. Let the writing and the judgment of this magazine begin. You be the judge. You enjoy your favorite wrestlers. I enjoy all three, but I think Jon Moxley truly deserves it. And basically, I think that just puts AEW on the map in more ways than one. Anyway, back to the contract signing. As his lawyer attempted to say that he was going to sue if Jon Moxley tried to do anything, as basically this contract signing focused on social distancing, in MJF's words. Basically, MJF once again glorifying Jon Moxley because of his tenure. And he also says that Mike Tyson was watching when Jon Moxley was wrestling. He says, I wouldn't want to be caught in a dark alley with him. And basically, MJF is trying to put over, I am the better professional wrestler, and we are going to be in a wrestling ring, and I'm going to take you apart. Because you're not a wrestler, John. You're a glorified goon. And I have too high of a ring IQ to fall for your stupid tricks. As he listed a bunch of role models that he implores as a pro wrestler versus Jon Moxley as, well, a deathmatch person. Very solid promo. But then Jon Moxley, after, by the way, he calls out MJF for not hitting puberty yet. Oh! Nice follow-up on the wife card. Moxley basically says, you're not taking necessarily my most lethal weapon. You're forcing me now to get creative. Which limb can I break? Which way can I put you to sleep? Do I want to drop you on your head and break your neck? Yes, I do. But he also subtly, again, humor, from seriousness to humor, talks about, I don't have a lawyer. I don't want to be sued. I think my defense attorney might be in jail. So he signed the contract. And everything seems all happy and fine and giddy. And Nina legitimately smiles for a second. Thankfully, she wasn't holding a smile this entire time. Good grief. Rest your jaw, girl. Anyway, as they shook hands, and literally Max says that, I will represent you. This is the stupidest thing you ever done. I think it's so much. But then they pointed out there was a page ad, 17, even though they thought there was only 16 pages. And it had a couple of interesting clauses here. Basically, Jon Moxley will be in a warm-up match this coming Wednesday. It's going to be him versus MJF's lawyer. And if he doesn't show up for the match, Bonehead MJF doesn't get the title shot. And in that warm-up match, the paradigm shift is 100% legal. And he suggests he gets a helmet because he's going for a ride. And then Sully ends with, I should be a lawyer. Stay class AEW. Now, Jon Moxley, incredible on the mic skills, incredible in the ring. We all know how dynamic Jon Moxley is. He does not need just a paradigm shift to put MJF away. But will it happen considering everything MJF has in his arsenal? Only time will tell. You can tell how much Wardlow wanted to punch the guy's lights out, too. Makes me wonder if we are interested in for a post-match attack this coming Wednesday. Just saying. Anyway, moving on from there, Santana and Ortiz, they once again subtly tease the best friends, and they all say, time to pay your dues, boys. And as far as your mom, we wish she was in that band. We would do the same thing to her. I dare Proud and Powerful to confront Trent's mother, and I want to see what happens. I really do. And honestly, after this match, maybe we'll get that apology. Moving on from there, though, as Eddie Kingston continues to build morale and focus on this foursome, as Lucha Brothers, Petrazilo, and Phoenix, and the Butcher and the Blade, with Eddie Kingston, of course, they took on the quadrant of the Bad Boy Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss, Brian Pillman Jr., making an AEW Dynamite debut, and I still don't know who the hell this guy is. Griff Garrison. He's not Jungle Boy's brother. I looked it up. There was some good back and forth action here, but I think just because of those two names, you kind of already saw the writing on the wall of who was going to win here. But this was more so to show how uniform that foursome of heels are. And they showed it here. But hey, Janela, he got some strong offense in. Decimated Ray Phoenix with a Death Valley driver on the apron. Good Lord. But of course, Pentagon, his brother, he was waiting for him, and then he got impaled on the apron with a package pile driver by Janela. He's dead. Brian Pillman Jr., he got the hot tag in towards the end, but he was swarmed and outnumbered by all four men as a package pile driver, double foot stop combo after a full tip type maneuver. The Lucha Brothers, Butcher and Blade, got the subtle, simple win. It's as simple as that. But here's the thing. Real talk after the match. Eddie Kingston said that we will rule AEW, and one of his men will win the Casino Battle Royale. So there's 5 more participants for you. You're looking at one of the 5 winners here and one of your future AEW World Champions. Eddie Kingston's words. Eddie Kingston, Butcher, Blade, Pentagon, Ray Phoenix. The field is getting deep, and it's anybody's to win or lose. I still wonder, though, the wildest thing we could see. Who's going to debut? Who's going to be the Joker? It's 21 people. unless they pull the ruse and do another 22. Which leads us into a celebration of people of numbers as the Dark Order. By the way, still never joining. They celebrated their Exalted One, now the new TNT champion, after squashing not only Cody in a match, but also destroying the Nightmare family, including who's now known as a Jezebel, and now is the Queen Slayer, as proclaimed, Anna Jay. Congratulations to Anna Jay so far on her development within 1 year of her professional wrestling career. Mad respect to her. Basically, though, Tony Schiavone, he is forced to interview the new champion, and basically, Mr. Broly proclaims, "We bury the Nightmare family. There's not a wrestler back there who would take this title from me, and Cody will never get this title back," as they use a metaphor of a coffin with the Nightmare family flag, as Preston was in the coffin in a Nightmare family vest, or jacket, whatever you want to call it, with a temporary Nightmare family tattoo. They talk about what they did with all their money, similar to what they said on BTE with all these lawnmowers, and someone got a Mustang. Pretty entertaining, as they basically summed it up. Tonight, we bid farewell to the man named Cody. It's going to be unique when he returns, and trust me, folks, he'll be back. But Miss Burley said, "Hey, I told you I was going to give you your belt back, and I did. I told you I was going to beat you, and I did." And again, Anna Jay was proclaimed officially. Now it's official. The newest member of the Dark Order, the Queen Slayer, after literally a sleeper choke hold, took out Brandy. Apparently, I guess Colt Cabana has an AEW Blazer. Maybe he's like the official commentator for Dark Order during matches now. I don't know what that's leading to because he's not proclaimed an official member yet. But I guess the Mr. Broy Lee's cabinet, if you want to call it that, is literally Anna Jay and Colt Cabana, as they all left the ring after being confronted, the Dark Order was, by, well, remnants of the Nightmare family. Starting with the Natural Dustin, who just couldn't outdo the numbers, and then QT Marshall, still hurting from, well, earlier. By the way, both these men were just in a match earlier. Think about that. But then things really changed in their favor and picked up after Scorpio Sky came into play. Sky. And he confronted face-to-face Mr. Brody Lee. Only for Anna Jay to steal from behind, slap him, and then he gets taken out from the back by Mr. Brody Lee. And again, like I said, those three, they walk off. And he literally yelled at Evil's face, "Take care of business, take care of these." Again, the Exalted One, Evil will know he just worships the guy, apparently. And then he gets hit with a freaking Strong Rider by Matt Cardona. And those four stand tall in the ring, fending off the Dark Order, as Miss Broyley slowly comes out and notices what's happening here and raises the belt. So, looks like we got a new interim field here as I guess, a newly rebuilt type of alliance or new Nightmare family is now going to take on the Dark Order. To think, 1 year ago, these guys were jokes, especially after that botch beating angle of the Elite. And now they are a real dominant heel faction and threat, literally trying to take over AEW. And with Mr. Broy Lee as TNT champion and being the character, honestly, that you never thought you would want on BTE, but you absolutely love, and the fact they seem to be endorsed by Chili's, which scares me, it's something very intriguing to me, and I'm curious to see where this goes. And right now, I honestly don't see anybody challenging Mr. Broy Lee for that title. If anything, this probably will pick up when Brandy returns, because there was somebody absent from all this that surprises me, and that's Allie. Is Allie not part of the Nightmare family? Is she not thinking about maybe Brandy? I don't know, but I'm curious if Allie might face Anna Jay, and honestly, Anna Jay, looking very strong so far. She has yet to have a one-on-one since being a part of the Dark Order. So we'll see how far this goes, especially because someone might be in her corner. We'll talk more about that a little later. As we then go to a back bar somewhere in the building segment where Paige is at the bar, go figure, and Dasha goes to ask him, why'd you do that? Why'd you call us the Young Bucks? And literally, this is the emotional breakdown that we've been anticipating, and it finally took shape. As literally, the Young Bucks came in and talked about, who are you? Okay, all we wanted was a friend. We called you a jobber a few years ago, but now we know what you really are. You are a jobber. No, you know what you really are? As I took the beer from him, or whiskey, whatever it was, maybe Jack Daniels. Hi, Cindy. You're a drunk. Throws in his face, and then says, since day one, you just been always wanting to be above the Elite. You didn't want to be the Elite. This was just a farce. This is a friendship. Well, you know what now? We're done. You're out of the Elite. And they slam a door, and there's a broken glass fixture or mirror behind it. And as Paige looks at himself, I don't know whether he's angry, shocked, surprised, relieved. I don't know what's going through the man's mind. But the Elite just changed forever. And with what we've been seeing from Kenny Omega, you wonder, the first year was surrounded by the Elite, leading AEW, building its foundation. You fought the Young Bucks to be your tag team champions, and here you had this impromptu duo of Page and Omega holding down the fort, literally now for over 200 days. And now it seems like everything that is the Elite is just falling apart, especially as we see more bits of different AEW wrestlers taking more control in parts of BTE. It really makes me wonder, what is the future of the Elite? It's intriguing. And I sense big changes come all out, especially as we're approaching AEW Dynamite's 1-year anniversary. Moving on from there, Big Swole finally gets her hands, allegedly, on Britt Baker, if she gets through this obstacle. As Britt Baker set up a handicap match with Penelope Ford, accompanied by Kip Sabian, and Reba. Or, excuse me, Rebel, sorry. Her actual name is Rebel, despite what Britt Baker made marketing do. And it was a 2-on-1 handicap match, and honestly, Penelope Ford, she was a difference maker here until Big Swole literally headbutted her as Britt Baker cheered from outside the ring in her Rose wheelchair, I guess you call it that, in her bedazzled Michael Jordan shirt. Bell ring, we get poking galore, and literally Swole gets poked with a crutch, gets annoyed. Penelope Ford hit again, relying on her gymnastics background, running back flick elbow strike on Swole, but Swole really took control when Rebel got to the ring, tried to go for a top maneuver. Stop doing that, Rebel. Good grief. Love her character. Gets caught. Big Swole takes her down. Big Swole's in control. Sabian, though, the third here with distraction. By the way, no leaf blower this time. I don't know how you bring 2 leaf blowers to a match like he did on Dark. Just saying. Anyway, seems like his best row now is just Ford's second. Who knew Ford would be the better out of the two? Honestly, I kind of saw that. Anyway, Sabian, he distracted Swole, which allowed Rebel to score some offense, but it wasn't enough as Penelope Ford tries to take control again, and literally they try to distract the ref, so Reba can use, Rebel can use a crutch to knock out Big Swole, but Swole ducks, and literally Rebel hits freaking Ford with the crutch, which basically was like a Matrix move, and basically allows Swole to pick up the big win. 1, 2, 3, pinning Penelope Ford as Rebel just rolls out of the ring, gets to her, and I guess loses her balance. And Britt Baker is apoplectic because now it's official. Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, apologies. It's official. She is back at All Out. And her first match, coming back from injury, is against Big Swole. She finally gets the match that she's wanted this whole time. She was rocking her music and just does in the ring and just go to the gym. I like Swole's music. Swole. Anyway, so yeah, we're finally going to get Britt Baker back in the ring, considering we didn't get the match we wanted to see at Double or Nothing, and her amazing work as a heel character. It almost seems like a gimme that she has to win this year to prove something, if nothing else, that she's worthy of challenging somebody that she challenged during these COVID times, one of the best women's matches during the COVID era, especially on AEW, for the AEW Women's Championship. That's if she's still champion coming in tonight. And I have thoughts on that, but I'll save my predictions and thoughts for later on this week. And stay tuned, I will be definitely doing a Sippin' and Predicting for AEW All Out. Maybe with Team NoDQ, maybe with PWD, maybe live. Only time will tell. But anyway, as we go into our main event, excuse me a moment, as they were talking about the main event, Chris Jericho was also highlighting what he did to Orange Cassidy as we run down the card, and we got multiple tag team matches made, including a 4-on-4 with the Dark Order and I guess you could call it the new Nightmare Family, it seems. It's something like that. And then another 2-on-2 to be determined based on a 4-on-4 that's going to happen this coming Wednesday on Dynamite as they start writing down the card. As the winners of this 8-man tag, those 4 men will face each other in a 2-on-2 match at All Out. They, of course, highlight, yes, they got the Casino Battle Royale coming up. We also have, of course, the Mimosa Mayhem. Again, Jericho Blood, another one of his creations. Jericho always full of himself, but always innovative. And, of course, we talk about the card for next week's Dynamite this Wednesday. Joey Janela. Jericho gets a warm-up match by facing Joey Janela. John Moxley, of course, will face that lawyer. Mark Sterling. Good luck, dude. We also have Santana Ortiz versus Best Friends. And then we have that 8-man tag. Young Bucks, Jurassic Express versus SCU and Private Party. The winning team will face each other in a 2-on-2 match. That's all I know for Dynamite coming this Wednesday. But before that, before we go into our main event, there was a subtle moment. You remember with the Dark Order segment, there was somebody holding a pink folder with the icon on it, and it just so happens to be one Evil Uno. And with Ty at ringside since the beginning, I kind of saw where this was going. So, based on their performance and actual friendship from the Women's Tag Team Cup, which I thought was really good, so glad I released in DM that they won that. Sign them AEW. It looks like after some encouragement from Anna Jay, Ty has been granted an invitation to join the Dark Order, brought out by Stu Grayson and Evil Uno, which she extremely accepted, embracing Anna Jay, who subtly hugs her, and it looks like we might have another member join the Dark Order. I guess Anna Jay's number, by the way, is 99, so does that make Ty 98? I have no idea where this is going. But we might be getting another women's tag team, it seems, in AEW, and another signing, if nothing else, for the Dark Order. Is the Dark Order like its own thing outside All Elite Wrestling, it seems? I don't know. I look for it, though, because Ty and Jay was one of my favorite teams during the Cup. I feel like they should have been in the finals, personally. And I can see something coming from this, so we'll wait and see. Anyway, that leads us to our main event, the first time ever, another first time ever in AEW Dynamite's history, a tables match, as Matt Hardy took on, from the Inner Circle, Sammy Guevara. And this match was brutal, aggressive, from the bell. Both men are busted open. By the way, referee was Aubrey Edwards, because, you know. Anyway, Sammy took flight from the ring at one point and literally went to the table, but Matt moved. Sammy crashed for the table. But again, in this match, it's not about just literally going through a table. You have to physically drive your opponent through a table. Boy, I wish another company did that for a number of occasions. But anyway, going back into here. Sammy does get back in the ring with a metal chair, and it looks like Matt counters with the most ridiculous twist of fate I've seen in a long damn time, with Sammy's neck in the chair. And as Sammy put it on AEW Restricted, please listen to that podcast, he has basically been an Inner Circle bump guy, and it's made him a main man ever since the golf cart thing, personally, which I think was the real first bump that he took at full speed, he said. Anyway, though, as this match progresses, Jeff Hardy finally pulls out a table that says deleted as he prepares to delete Sammy, again, broken, and he tries to extra break him by setting up the chair underneath the table and goes for a superplex spot, which gets countered because Hardy has lost so much blood from earlier spots that Sammy capitalizes, or maybe from that botch chair spot a couple weeks ago, and literally jumps up, suplexes Matt through the table on the steel chair as well, collapses the broken, literally body of Matt Hardy for the win, physically through the table. Sammy wins, just to Chris Jericho's extreme delight. As Jericho says, this has been one of the best episodes ever of AEW Dynamite, and we're about to go off the air, but what happens? The most dangerous man in AEW's music hits Orange Cassidy, and I just see off in the distance someone sprinting like a madman, and next thing you know, we cut to the broadcast booth, and good Lord Almighty, Orange Cassidy jumped over or through the monitor Jericho was looking at and was attacking Jericho. There goes the AEW background also, and JR and Tony are just trying to get the hell out of there, as Tony's like, what the hell? And JR's like, my God, where the hell did he come from? Get some control over here, for the love of God. As again, Tony's like checking on his friend, make sure he's okay. And literally, all these AEW referees out here, no one can separate these two men right now, as the brawl just ensued the last couple of minutes. What a freaking closing angle. Boy, this Dynamite felt rushed, in my opinion, and somewhat a BTE storyline. As Fresh Squeeze joins Cassidy and Chris Jericho, they just keep brawling as everybody tries to break them up, including Sammy G, as JR, just within the time limit, says, we'll see you next week, Wednesday night on Dynamite. Good night, everybody. It's going to be a very interesting show. And might I add, this Dynamite that I was just talking about with y'all was on a Thursday night. We've seen Dynamite now on a Saturday night and Dynamite on Thursday night. Both nights they've been doing great numbers respectively, within the 730,000 to 825,000. Still doing well in that demographic. And overall, the network seems very happy with Dynamite. I'm happy for it too, personally. I just really love Dynamite. It always makes me wonder what's going to happen next for something that I saw during an episode. And truly, no two episodes ever feel the same to me. I mean, Eric Bischoff kind of played it subtly when it came to WWE. He thinks the storylines suck, and with their two key shows, one's red, one blue. I do wonder, though, what his thoughts are with NXT. Maybe they'll talk about it one day on 83 Weeks, but I digress. The bottom line is this. AEW Dynamite, always fun to watch. I really enjoyed the episode. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what's ahead this week as I record this for you during a weekend. As now I look forward to AEW Dark, no card yet, the go home episode of AEW Dynamite heading into this coming Saturday on September 5th. It is AEW All Out on pay-per-view via the Bleacher BR Live app. And yes, I already ordered it, and it is $50. Trust me, your money is well spent. Let's go ahead and briefly talk about what we're going to expect. Before the actual pay-per-view, they are going to show a countdown special the day of. Apparently, it's going to be on at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, which extremely achieves me, and I'm looking forward to it. But before then, we got to go through Dynamite. So let me go ahead and briefly again highlight what's to come this week so far on the Go Home episode of Dynamite. So, as talked about during the contract signing, Jon Moxley gets a warm-up match against MJF's attorney, Mark Sterling. We're going to see how Mark Sterling can handle a paradigm shift or the AEW World Champion. Will MJF try to pull off one last trick to gain an advantage ahead of his match AEW All Out, where he proclaims he will walk out champion because we deserve better, and I am going to outlive your tenure. I am going to lead this company for the next 25 years. Personally, in my opinion, I sense a lot of shenanigans here, but I sense Jon Moxley, regardless, is going to drive this man's head into the ring. And Wardlow then is going to try and come out and soften Jon Moxley. And maybe we'll finally see MJF pull off the neck strap. Maybe have his cabinet attack of Lee Johnson. I don't see Nina doing anything. We'll wait and see. I'm still waiting for Nina to face Kylie King, because if y'all know Nina, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Moving on from there, Chris Jericho, he gets a warm-up match. Let's hopping on, he takes on the bad boy, Joey Janela. These two are no strangers to each other, but when I think about this match, it's got to go in Jericho's favor as we prepare for the Mimosa Mayhem match coming in All Out. I don't really have much more to say on this, as again, Joey Janela, he is focusing now more on a tag team pursuit with partner Sonny Kiss. I don't see him beating Chris Jericho here. That's all I have to say. But I do see Orange Cassidy making a subtle appearance, maybe on commentary, during this as well. Not saying a word. Maybe sleeping. Which leads me again to the tag team bout. Let's finally settle this once for all, hopefully in non-bleach gear. As the best friends, Chuck and Trent try to avenge Trent's mom's minivan and demand an apology, vocally, on speakerphone. I highly doubt it's going to happen, but who knows. As they take on the Wild Pit Bulls of Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. Santana and Ortiz, they've really had a lot of mixed fortunes as a tag team. They have not yet gotten the best of the best friends in tag team action, only in brawl and beatdown angles. And I feel like here, based on their run across AEW Dark, where so far they have yet to lose, ever since picking up that key victory in that triple threat tag team main event with the Lobo assistance, it finally might go in favor of Proud and Powerful here, as they try to finally, which I might have they've never been on the rankings, maybe finally get up on the rankings and get the best of the best friends. But I also figure about how much these four men could play into Orange Cassidy or Chris Jericho. Could it intertwine? Will the Santana Ortiz be out there by themselves? Will they have Jake Hager? Will they have a Matt Ball? And what's next for Sammy G now that he's done with Matt Hardy? Will he be out there to support his fellow Inner Circle brethren? And I don't know, but if I have to figure out this match, and again, best friends being one of my favorite teams, but honestly, if they win here, it's still like, what, 2-1, I think, against these two for best friends. Best friends still got, I think, the advantage. Instead, they'll beat them at any time. I'm just going to go with, because I don't know if all those stipulations were made official for this match. It feels like it should be. I'm actually going to go with best friends here, picking up some momentum. And maybe they can continue keeping themselves going forward towards maybe another opportunity towards the tag team gold. If nothing else, maybe another shot towards FTR. I just don't know if Santana Ortiz can pick up the win here. It's going to be a clutch match, which leads me to what I imagine is going to be the main event, as the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, and partners Jurassic Express and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, they take on the foursome of Private Party and SCUs, Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. But the key stipulation about this match, again, is the winning team will face each other off in a 2-on-2 tag match at AEW All Out. You gotta imagine this will be towards contention for a future AEW World Tag Team Championship opportunity. So let's think about this. Young Bucks falling short in the tag team gauntlet, finally abolishing Page out of the Elite. They're partnering with Jurassic Express, who we've seen with Kenny Omega not seem to be on the best page with, as Kenny Omega is slowly, I feel like, turning or breaking. Just saying. as he tried to not only destroy Marco Stunt countless occasions, but even in their last tag team bout, where it was Elite versus Dark Order, he tried to destroy one member of the Dark Order off a chair-type power bomb, and the Bucks literally stopped him. It seems when Omega is truly getting beaten down a portion of the match or can't get the best of his opposition lately, it seems, he is slowly losing control of himself. And he wants to basically destroy those he feels might be a threat to him. So again, are we on the verge of the cleaner returning? And can Jurassic Express and Young Bucks be on the same page during this match? Or on the other side, you got Private Party, who respect Matt Hardy, but obviously I don't think Matt Hardy's going to be out there with them. And then I think about SCU, who's had a run of mixed fortunes, including losing that last key triple threat tag team main event on Dark, and also falling short against Butcher and the Blade on another occasion. But then I also think about Kazarian being out there sometimes by himself, Daniels being the veteran, where's his head at? Can SCU pull this together with Private Party? Former rivals, I might add, when they once challenged each other for the AEW Tag Team Championships in a triple threat. This match could go really either way, but I also figure about what 2-on-2 I want to see the most. Last year at All Out, the Young Bucks faced the freaking Lucha Brothers in a ladder match from hell that Meltzer claimed was better than WrestleMania 17. I highly disagree. And then I think about Private Party versus SCU. Do you want SCU to go after the titles with this duo this time? Or can Private Party finally go after the titles? And think about where Paige might stand too. Does Paige want the Bucks to even excel anymore? Does Paige feel what the Bucks said to him? Does that affect him now mentally? Is he have vendetta against the Young Bucks to just stop them at all costs from winning or excelling in AEW? Honestly, because of Paige, just think about Paige. I'm actually going with SCU and Private Party for the win here, and we'll get that 2-on-2 come all out. And that's all I know so far going into this coming Wednesday night's episode of Dynamite. As of course, we'll continue to preview the other matches to come. I'm sure Britt Baker will have a lot to say about her opponent, Big Swole, one last time. Maybe we'll get another rule about being a role model, like someone maybe about don't underestimate her. Then again, she's already called herself Michael Jordan. I don't think you get more full of yourself than that. Maybe we'll get more of the Dark Order. Maybe we'll finally see Anna Jay and Ty make it official together themselves. Mr. Burley sitting down, and she'll become Dark J. Tay and Jay. It just seems like a weird team, but I guess that dynamic could work. Will we finally get some more follow-up to Paige? No Omega, it seems, on this show. Where's Omega's head at? And who else will be officially declared for the Casino Battle Royale, too? There's so much to think about this coming episode of AEW Dynamite. As we are literally, this is the go-home. This is it. We got to finalize the pay-per-view. It's time to see who goes in momentum. It's time to figure out who you believe will lead AEW. As again, AEW All Out will define the future of Dynamite as we head towards their one-year anniversary of this weekly brand. Hard to believe this has not even been on for 52 weeks straight yet, and there has yet to be also a DQ finish. No match has ended in a disqualification. It really surprises me, and I absolutely love it. Again, suspension of disbelief. When is that moment going to happen? Is it truly going to matter? Only time will tell. But with that being said, that's all I have to say for now on AEW Dynamite, AEW Dark, and everything I can think of so far for All Elite Wrestling, from a character development, a wrestling standpoint, and what I think's to come, and what are my thoughts also on other stuff to come. So thank you for tuning in to this special episode of AEW Spark. Stay tuned again, like I said, later this week. And, of course, they are continuing to sell tickets at the Daily's Place. Limited capacity only, as they constantly keep that in, perspective. Not only for Dynamite, but also All Out. It would not surprise me already if that was sold out. So I have to wait and see. Cash Wheeler, I was right. Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. Apologies. So, like I said in closing thoughts, I will never join the Dark Order. This is our go-home angle heading into AEW All Out. It's going to be a hell of an episode, and I can't wait. And again, the countdown All Out will be Saturday, September 5th, prior to the show, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I imagine the buy-in is going to be 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Saturday, and we'll see where everyone stands. And I wonder what women might be in action as well as we continue to build a women's division. And will Allie have anything to say following the actions of the Dark Order too? I'm just most curious to see where Allie goes from here because I want to see Allie succeed. She's been one of my favorites since signed with AEW. But with that being said, that's all I have to say on retrospective and everything so far on All Elite Wrestling. I would talk about the rankings, but you guys know they change on a week-by-week basis. And also, it's very loose, but they do follow it to a degree. The champion's been incredibly strong. Cody had a hell of a run, drops now down to number 3 with a streak of 18-2. Won't see him again for a while. Jon Moxley undefeated this year in singles action, 15-0. MJF is 8-0. Hikaru Shida is 16-1. Abaddon and Ford and Big Swole, they're moving their way up, and Nyla Rose is still number 1. And 12-0 for the tag champs and Kenny Omega, Heyman and Page. You wonder if this will end, if the FTR will beat them, that currently have a record of 6-0. If you want the full rankings, please go to AEW Dynamite. I would love to hear your perspective on that too. Well, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to AEW Spark. Until next time, if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. So follow me, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, PlayStation Network, at mfoster1916. Continue following the Civil YouTube channel here, youtube.com/user/nofoster210 for all things wrestling. Shout out to my AEW family on Twitter. I'll be back later this week with, of course, another live simple chat, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday night, as well as predictions for All Out. And yes, note, if you guys, this will be an exhibition. There will be a forum. I encourage you all to join in if you want something different and explore something different too. I'm not going to judge you. Please don't judge me. Let's respect each other's opinions too. Because again, I watch all forms of wrestling, so there you go. And of course, I will be back with a Sybil Tick after AEW All Out as well. Cindy, you're going down. But support my friend Cindy also on her podcast, In the Stratosphere, in partnership with the Bulletcast. As she pursues the Bulletcast title, I am rooting for her to win that. Till next time, support NoDQ, support WrestleJoy, support Pro Wrestling Discussion, support Team All Elite, and as always, I'd like to close, support independent wrestling because that's the heart of it. And support wrestling outlets, big and small. Let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, authentic, unscripted, unrestricted wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell and know next video goes live on this channel. Hit the subscribe button, help me grow this channel. Shout out to all 161 of you that's been with me on this fun YouTuber creator's journey. It's not lamp anytime soon. I hope I bring a positive, fun, simple, opinionated wrestling atmosphere to you. And until the next video, take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families, enjoy wrestling, wear a mask, be safe, be cautious, live as you wish, but be conscious of those around you. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'll see you all afterwards, after AEW Dynamite. Good night.